to the General Assembly of the Americas, and it's gonna evolve into being that over the next 2 years with the EAA, as I have explained, with the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas. Actually, it's going to be created with ratification, the signing and ratification, or the ratification and signing of the Free Trade and Economic Agreement of the Americas, and that's going to be identified as the FTEA. All right, that's going to be the FTEA. I'm pretty sure that's going to make sense. And the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas is going to be known as the EAA. All right, so yeah, signing and ratification is the same thing, but sometimes a treaty can, a treaty or agreement can actually be ratified without having been signed, per protocol, or even law, statute of law. I did in the United States of America for the most part. A president can't just sign a treaty and it become law of the United States. It actually has to be confirmed by the Senate, the United States Senate. So therefore, there's some sort of procedure that designates ratification as specific to the United States of America. I'm pretty sure other countries have considered this sort of policy. But anyway, the General Assembly of the Americas is going to replace the title OAS General Assembly, or General Assembly of the Organization of American States. It's essentially it's truly gonna be known as the GAA, General Assembly of the Americas, and it's gonna be totally hemispheric, and it's gonna be totally legislative and superseded of national and federal law of its respective member states regarding the member states of the Organization of American States. The GAA is going to remain within the Organization of American States, and after the Union of the Americas is formed, the General Assembly of the Americas is going to remain within. It's going to remain within the Union of the Americas, and it is going to serve as the sole uh, legislature, the sole parliament, continental parliament of the Americas. So that's what we do have planned, and yeah, so we're gonna have to remove a part of the treaty that we're gonna sign. It's gonna serve as some sort of exemption against the confirmation process of the Senate, or the affirmation process of the Senate when it comes to treaty resolution, or treaty passing, essentially treaty resolution passing. And so essentially, laws will be enacted within the General Assembly of the Americas, and continental laws, and it will help govern the EAA competently, along with some of the offices I did mention earlier, which are going to help regulate the function and operation of the economic area of the Americas, the free trade and economic area of the Americas, in implementing policy, and making sure that every segment or every sector of the respective area, and every sort of construct, a social construct, a political construct, or economic construct associated with the economic area of the Americas, the free trade and economic area of the Americas, the EA, will will not be undermined by any sort of primitive or social condition, outside scientific law and procedures duly conducted toward enactment and the implementation. Okay, so sorry I had to get so scientific, and I guess a bit technical, but I want you guys to know that I actually wrote all of the legal article. I've wrote all of the legal tenets of the work papers. When it comes to the legal article of the New Society's Concepts and Apperceptions of an Eastern Caribbean Model of Commonality, I did not receive any sort of help or guidance from any law school or law professor or any attorney or any legal expert, any of that. I certainly did not need that help. I did do well at law school on my own. I did a lot of independent studying. I was undercover, so I could not reveal that I'm clearly a top-notch genius. In all honesty, I was trained to not only be a natural genius, but to be top-notch, and to not reveal it completely until the time was right. But I made clear that I was certainly a genius, and stood out as a genius, even though I had to purport having some sort of a raw Caribbean accent, and being a bit uh, uh, scared of the reality that there was so much dissent to what was purported of our plan. The Central Intelligence Agency and Interpol as a partnership, as a newly identified partnership, conditioned by me. So you know, so we're not going to have any sort of a tussle. I promise you. Things are going to with any other part of the federal government or any other member state of the Organization of American States, and I'm pretty sure that damn near at least 95, 96% of the member states of the Organization of American States, from the get-go in 2 to 3 years, will be able to ratify, to sign the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas, or plausibly have it passed or ratified within the current OAS General Assembly. The option is there. The signing might be a bit more effective or efficient since we are going to have the General Assembly of the Americas anyway. But that option is still open. It might even be easier because it's doing the same thing for the most part. It's just a bit more it's part of a better process. The current OAS General Assembly provides a process. It provides clinical scrutiny. It provides a rigid technicality in the interpretation of a continental or comparative law toward creating treaty provisions and drafts and so forth. So, it might be done in the OAS General Assembly and passed within or via the procedures of the Organization of American States General Assembly, or it might be contemplated and then drafted within the General Assembly of the OAS, and then just signed within, I guess within the framework of some sort of summit or meeting. It's not going to make a difference. We do have many options available, but it's certainly going to get signed in 2 to 3 years. And yes, we're going to go at war. Not a war. We're just going to strike Haiti within the next few months. It's going to be part of the global war situations. We are going to bring an end to the government funding of gangs and illicit drug activity in Haiti, and I guess in parts of the diaspora. So we're going to remove the current president and prime minister, or whoever the prime minister or president is, will be seated at that particular point to communicate the right stuff, communicate the right message, and we're going to help reform the Haitian government and its jurisdiction and the Caribbean community. CARICOM itself will maintain and assert itself even more predominantly, or even more, I guess, concisely and assertively, uh, as governance over the Caribbean region on related treaty matters. Okay, so there's just no need to worry. And the Caribbean community is not going to change its title. It's going to remain a Caribbean community. It's going to gain a regional government, a Caribbean regional government, and it's going to have a regional parliament, and it's going to have the Secretary General office is going to be maintained within the maintained and preserved, completely preserved Secretariat in Georgetown, Guyana, and the criminal, no, not the Caribbean Court of Justice, the CCJ, in Trinidad and Tobago is actually going to be maintained, and it's going to remain in Trinidad and Tobago. The regional parliament, I'm pretty sure, is going to be conventional. It's for the enactment of statutes, regional statutes, and the legislature will be permanently located. Uh, so there's a lot of construction going on around here. Actually, we're very impressed that some of the work being done here in Central Florida. So the Haitian immigrant community is being briefed on the particular matter of Haiti, and they said yes to removing all drug-related government activity and so forth, and it's not starting anew. Certainly not starting anew, but just reforming the protocols of the Haitian government. But anyway, a regional parliament, it's certainly going to be located. Uh, the Caribbean Regional Parliament is going to be located in Kingston, Jamaica. And yes, I did come up with all of the concepts, and I did make all the decisions on the particular concepts and how they're going to be applied. Okay, I'm very confused to why some of the folks believe that I'm being interrogated and guided into making these decisions. I have not met with a federal agent outside my managerial group, and I haven't met my training group, and I haven't met with them in over 5-6 months, other than the security staff that it is sent over from time to time, explaining that it's okay to continue my work with, and they do not have to provide any additional instruction. That's the reality. I promise you guys, that's the reality. I want you guys to be quite impressed uh, with INTERPOL and the CIA working together. Quite impressed with the integration as project, and quite impressed that we're finally going to get Haiti on the right track. You know, it's going to be on the right track. It's going to be fully immersed in the Caribbean community's culture, government, and protocol culture. And it's never going to say, well, we spoke with a few Haitian government personnel, and they were very angry when I said that we were going to abolish gangster hip hop and it was going to disenfranchise certain Haitian born or Haitian American gangster hip hop stars in Florida. It's literally going to bring an end to gangster hip hop in the United States, but especially in Florida. So we're going to do away with that. I can't handle us having to wait any longer to get to that particular endpoint. And that abolishment applies to all sectors of hip hop, all demographic sectors of hip hop, especially African Americans, and that includes Haitian Americans or Haitian American blacks, you know, for the most part. Okay, so we are gonna have to accept that African American just means black in America, and I mean of African descent, living here in America, and it prioritizes often when it comes to procedures, citizens of the United States, but no longer when it comes to social, economic, and political terms and protocols being asserted by the United States federal government via the CIA and Interpol, and what we expect of the General Assembly of the Americas, the EAA, and I guess the executive office of the EAA and the integration plan, which certainly is going to be in Miami, as I've explained earlier. There's going to be an executive office of the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas, and it's going to be located in Miami. It's not going to be anything crazy for the most part, meaning the spectacularity of the building, but the host building, the permanent host building until uh, the commissioner office is established in 2049 within an executive uh, palace or executive building of the Americas, you know, and so forth. But anyway, so I think things will be able to work out perfectly. All right. So it's sad news that we're gonna have to encounter that we're gonna have to encounter a bit, you know, worried Haitian Americans or Haitian immigrants here in America or Haitians in Haiti. But we're gonna have to bring an end to the dysfunction that we notice of sectors of the Haitian government without removing the constitutional organs and the constitution of the Haitian government, because that itself is proficient. Infrastructure just needs to be modernized. It needs to be secured, and it needs to be assisted by the international community, not just the United States, but CARICOM is going to do a good job. The Caribbean Development Bank and other funding regional operatives will certainly, not including my private funds. I cannot expend any more funds to private funds to anything. So we've created so many development banking and finance systems for the Caribbean region and the Americas as a whole, as I've explained, and we've helped on a global level. We've led on a global level also, the rest of the globe also. So, okay, guys, so I'm not trying to be dismissive to any particular person's opinion, but I just needed you guys to know that I cannot allow myself to be threatened by any particular government or any government operative or agent in regarding my programs or regarding my job as the chief manager of the United States government and its partnerships and running the CIA and Interpol as lead of that reality. But and certainly I'm not going to allow anyone to threaten or risk my my safety regarding my person, my personal being itself. So okay, so guys can see, it's March 2024. It's March 11th, 2024. March 11th, 2024. As you can see, it's March 11th, 2024. March 11th, 2024. Once again, it's March 11th, 2024. March 11th, 2024.
The rest falls perfectly into place.
As you can see, once again, it's March 11th, 2024.
See Oppenheimer. Yeah.
This occurred.
There's nothing else he needed to say, right? That was the moment Academy Award winner Al Pacino announced Oppenheimer had won Best Picture last night.
All right.
It was a strange kind of moment, but
I'm gonna make sure that you guys see it.
Oppenheimer took home a total of 7 trophies, including Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Cinematography. But yesterday, attention was drawn to more than just the best movies of the year. Last year, several celebrities wore red pins to the Oscars, symbolizing their support for a ceasefire in Gaza.
All right, Nigel Smith joins us to recap Oscars night. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrives in Jamaica for emergency talks on the growing crisis in Haiti.
Plus, the top intelligence experts on Capitol Hill talk about the most serious threats to American national security, why a social media site will be one of the topics of conversation.
And Israel's prime minister stands defiant as the international community demands a ceasefire as Ramadan is underway. You're streaming CBS News.
I just got to make sure that everyone knows speaking, not communicating any sort of codes or innuendos.
Stories that inform. You can be really old at 60, and you can be really young at 85. Inspire how do we unlock the power within ourselves to be who we want to be and brighten your day.
So that's part of things that's making people feel good. Always send people home happy.
Make every day a little more like Sunday morning.
Here comes the sun.
Stream now on the free CBS News app.
That's what's going on. See, well, LeBron James was one of the individuals who threatened to take my life away from me, or threatened to risk the safety of my family, my daughter, and my ex-fiance, who's going to reunite with me in a few weeks. And he stated to Corinne Japir and Patricia Roberts Fitzhugh that they should not enroll into my procreation program because I'm a disaster to the American public and the Caribbean community. And he's quite illiterate in diplomacy, politics, and things of that matter. But we had to catch him. Everything is documented by INTERPOL and the Central Intelligence Agency. He actually paid funds to a Haitian immigrant he thought were real gangsters or gang affiliates, and he thought that I was actually going to get murdered here in Florida by Haitian immigrants from Orlando or Miami. We have everything recorded for the most part. He just got caught, and we covered it up in the beginning of the CBS newscast broadcast that you see in an earlier segment of this particular video recording. Regarding the two, how would you say it? The two, the two male broadcasters. I guess that's what the two male broadcasters. You clearly hear one of the individuals, one of the two males, state LeBron. And in covering it up, as we requested, the American government and civil society, especially the immigrant-backed civil society and special government offices, they want him to fake his death right away and to submit to the prescribed order of punishment in correlation with the judgment against him, the internal mediation and tribunal judgments against him, still sealed, but quite active and effective. So he's going to have to fake his death in a few weeks, as I explained in previous publications. And I'm not going to feel bad about it anymore. We caught him yesterday. We caught him the day before. He requested me murdered, and we heard him having conversation with the Haitian prime minister and Haitian president. And they both said yes to assassinating me. All three said yes to assassinating me. And as we expected that they would. So yes, we're going to go into Haiti. We're going to overthrow the government. The U.S. military is going to do so. And we're going to bring an end to the funding of drug activity and gang activity in the Haitian community here in America, and more specifically in Haiti, overseas. Okay? So I said it was not a real phone conversation. It was more so for video correspondence or video conference call. But for the most part, there were telephone connections that we did monitor it. And I'm telling you, he's illiterate when it comes to diplomacy, when it comes to politics, but he was made privy to certain dealings. And he thought it was about money at first, and he thought it was about my procreation program. He still thinks that he's going to have a procreation program. He still thinks that the world is only in love with athletes, and he still believes that he's going to have offspring who are going to dominate the Caribbean sports in secret, and this and this and that. He's going to go through a lot of hell. Okay, as I've explained, it's pathological.